On Larry King Now, former NFL star Rashad Jennings.
And I always tell people playing in the NFL is like sneaking into a really cool party and the bouncer, just waiting for the bouncer to kick you out. Finally got kicked out. He took another puff, sip of his drink, and he said, "Rashad, do you think you'll be able to make it to the NFL without smoking and drinking yourself?" And with tears in my eyes, I looked at him and I said, "Dad, just to prove you wrong, I'm never gonna do it." We do know that the game is dangerous, but we never was aware of that kind of danger.
A lot of kids not playing it now.
True, and I don't blame him.
Plus,
I lockered beside him every day for 3 years, so I got to know him really well, sometimes a little bit too well. He was a great leader, first in, last out kind of guy, hilarious dude.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. Today's special guest is record-setting NFL running back Rashad Jennings. Rashad spent 8 years in the National Football League, playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Oakland Raiders, and New York Giants. He's also the founder of the Rashad Jennings Foundation, aimed at inspiring youth through education. He's also a Dancing with the Stars champion, taking home the Mirror Ball Trophy in 2017. His new book, The If in Life, How to Get Off Life's Sidelines and Become Your Best Self. It's available now. We'll be talking about it in a couple of moments. 2 seasons since you left the NFL. Was it hard to transition to civilian life?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. And transitioning to civilian life, it's been a pretty good transition, I would say, overall. It hasn't been too difficult. I haven't strayed away too far ever from being a civilian, playing 8 years in the league. I never took myself too serious to the point of understanding a long career in the NFL is still short in relativity to life. So
running back especially.
Yeah, I think the average is 1.3 years. Yeah. So I'm thankful to sneak in 8. And I always tell people playing in the NFL is like sneaking into a really cool party and the bouncer, just waiting for the bouncer to kick you out. Finally got kicked out.
The story goes, what is it like when the cheering stops?
Mm-hmm.
Joe Namath told me the thing he missed the most wasn't Sundays. It was the week with the guys. Same with you?
100%. 100%. I do not miss training camp, getting hit every day, waking up at 6 a.m., going to bed at 11 p.m. I don't miss that gruesome, vigorous heat with those pads on. The only thing I miss is talking trash in the locker room with my boys. That's really it. And obviously you'll miss the game from time to time on Sunday, Monday, and Thursday, but that's it. That's literally it. You get a chance to bring all your memories, bring all the friendships, but the game will always be the game. You'll find a way to be around it. But I think if you work diligently and give it your all, the only thing you can miss is the people.
What's your worst injury?
Now, I've had several. I had a concussion, MCL, but the worst was this broken pinky right there. I snapped it. Still
bent?
Yeah, I had to have surgery. I got 5 pins in it. And I did it my senior year in college, my first play. Stiff armed somebody, my pinky got caught, snapped. And it was funny because I thought I was fine until I looked. And when I saw it, I fell right on the ground. So that was my worst one.
Okay, concerning this book, The If in Life, here's what Michael Strahan, the great Michael Strahan, wrote in the foreword for this book. Even after having achieved so many of his own dreams, I'm truly inspired by this story of a once overweight, asthmatic kid who struggled academically. As a teenager, Rashad made the mature decision to stop letting life happen to him and instead started making life happen to him. The man he has become is living proof of what you can do when you decide to apply yourself and let no one and nothing stop you. Why did you write the book?
There's many reasons why I wrote the book, and I'm so thankful that Michael Strahan, somebody I look up to, wrote the foreword. The if in life, it's a play on words. When you spell out the word life, if is in the middle. It's the foundation of life. And I get to go through 15 chapters of explaining my major if points. If I didn't have a loving mother, if I would have responded to racism the wrong way, If I would have responded with hatred towards my father, if I didn't start taking ownership and responsibility, all these major if points, I wouldn't find myself where I'm at today. And it's inspiration to kids, truly, that dreams still do come true. Not just in social media land. It's a reality that they still can come true.
But what changed your ifs for you?
There's a few major points. I believe the relationship with my father set the stage for everything. And I was 13. I grew up with asthma. This overweight, chubby kid, 0.6 GPA, fifth string running back, saying I want to play in the NFL. And the relationship with my father set the stage. It was one particular time that I was hospitalized because of my asthma. And I was in the hospital fighting for my breath, blowing through a peak flow, and it only went a centimeter. And I don't know if anybody has ever had asthma attack, but just imagine you're underwater fighting for air. And the doctors, my dad used to smoke and drink heavily. I have two older brothers, are 10 and 13 years older than me. I was the whoops, here we go again, baby. And so my dad retired from the Air Force, and therefore, turned to alcohol and smoking. So my brothers grew up with a different father than I did. And all he did was smoke and drink. He was there, but he wasn't. The doctors asked my dad, said, "Sir, you have to stop smoking around your son. It's triggering his asthma." And so when I got out of the hospital, sure enough, a week later, he began to smoke back in the house again. And this 13-year-old kid, this is where I'm at, I'm smelling the cigarette smoke seep through the vents of the house, and I start choking up. And I covered my face with a pillow. I walked upstairs, knocked on the door. My dad didn't answer. I opened the door. He was sitting in the corner drinking and smoking. And I said, "Hey, Dad, can you stop drinking and smoking to be there for me?" Took a sip of his smoke, puff of his smoke, sip of his drink. He looked at me. He said, "Rashad, what do you want to do when you get older?" Now, mind you, I don't have a relationship with my father. It's the first time he ever asked that. Even though he asked it arrogantly, I'm like excited I get to express this. And I said, "I want to play running back in the NFL." He took another puff, sip of his drink, and he said, "Rashad, do you think you'll be able to make it to the NFL without smoking and drinking yourself?" And with tears in my eyes, I looked at him. And I said, "Dad, just to prove you wrong, I'm never going to do it. And I'm 33 years old today. Never drank alcohol a day in my life. I never smoked anything a day in my life." And it literally was just to prove him wrong. And what's awesome in doing that, him watching his little knucklehead kid prove him wrong, he ended up quit smoking and drinking at the same time. And we feel like, for some odd reason, that particular day kind of set the stage and saved both of our lives.
Did he get to see you play in the NFL?
He did. He did. And my father, he ended up having to get both of his legs amputated at a particular point in life. But he did. He made it to a couple games. He watched. It was flood works, having my father watch me play in the NFL.
Wow.
And he actually made it out to Dance with the Stars, and I dedicated a dance to him, Unconditional. And it was about unconditional love that I have for my father. And I'm very thankful.
Still living?
Still living, still with us today. Yes, sir.
And do you do a lot of speaking, public speaking, inspiring talks?
Yes, I do. I do as much as I can throughout my schedule. I actually was just at my university not too long ago. I spoke on Mother's Day. I did the commencement speech. I always dedicate 1 hour in the community every single week speaking to kids. I make myself available because I feel like your life is meant to be told.
Did you outgrow the asthma?
I did. I outran asthma.
After the break, Rashad Jennings reflects on his 8 seasons in the NFL, weighs in on the current state of the league. The book is The If in Life, and we'll be right back. My guest is Rashad Jennings. The book is The If in Life. Great idea. How to get off life's sidelines and become your best self. It's available now. You played for 3 teams. Which do you feel the closest to?
That's a tough one. I love all 3. Jacksonville gave me my first opportunity. Drafted in '09, played there for 4 years. Oakland Raiders gave me another opportunity. I was the MVP of the team, offensive player of the team that year. and through free agency, signed with the Giants. And I'm going to just say this. I retired as a Giant on purpose. So I'm going to have to say that's probably my favorite team.
Was it hard to retire?
It was and it wasn't. It was difficult just simply because I've been doing it since I was 6 years old, attempting to do it since I was 6, professionally for 8 years. It's kind of your manlyhood. It's how you earn income. But it wasn't difficult because I gave it my all and I have no regret. And I also understand I can't play this game forever, nor did I want to. And I've always said that if I'm only remembered as an NFL running back, in my personal book, I'm a failure. There's so many other things in life I want to accomplish and do. So I have no regret. And I'm glad I did it for 8 years. I gave something for my little nephews to chase.
You want to coach?
I've thought about it. I really have thought about it. And I thought about doing it in the latter years of my life. You know, once I'm married, once I have kids, once I'm settled in one spot, I feel that's another way amongst many that I could give back to a community.
Looking at the NFL, what that great running back, you're looking forward to see him?
Yes, Saquon.
He's on the Giants.
Yes, I am. I'm a fan. I was a fan of him in college. I actually tweeted 2 months before the draft and said that this guy was going to be the rookie of the year. So now that he's a Giant, of course, I'm biased.
Eagles are tough, though.
They are. They are. You know what's funny? So I was in a group. I'm in a group pool with my buddies. We all put a couple bucks in, and we had to predict who was going to be in the Super Bowl last year. And if you get it right, you win. And if you lose, you get your money back. So I predicted, and you have to do it before any preseason snap. I predicted the Eagles was going to be playing against Jacksonville. I missed it by 1 game.
They could do it again, the Eagles.
They got a shot. They really do.
Okay, the league's been under a lot of scrutiny. You suffered a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
They have the protection protocol now where you have to sit and doctor has to look at you. Are we making a lot of advances?
We are. I feel we are. And it's unfortunate that it's taken this long to bring the facts to the table. We all understand that. One thing that I say throughout my NFL career that I believe I did differently than most, one, I eat a particular way. I'm gluten and dairy free. Do everything organic as possible. But I slept in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber throughout my career. Now, when I first got in the league, I said, I'm a cheapskate. I said, I'm not going to buy a new car. I'm going to ride the same one I had since high school till the wheels fell off. Funny story, the wheels actually did fall off. But I bought a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. It was the first thing I ever purchased in the NFL because I wanted to prolong my career. I didn't know the stock market, how that worked, but I understood how I did. And the hyperbaric oxygen chamber compresses you 15 feet below sea level, and it pumps in oxygen, heals you on a cellular level.
All night long.
All night long, mentally, functionally, the hours, and it's proven to show brain functionality. And so this is something that I as an NFL player rep, I wanted to bring attention to. And there are many cases of guys actually using it, but I think this is something that should be in the future of talks.
A lot of new rules designed to try to protect players, but look at all of them when they do these postmortems and they do autopsies and they find damage done to the head. Mm-hmm. That concern you?
It's a fact that they find that. I never was fearful of that. I never was concerned. I think, that we do know that the game is dangerous, but we never was aware of that kind of danger.
A lot of kids not playing it now.
True, and I don't blame them. If I'm blessed to have a son, I probably won't let him play until, one, he understands how to tackle, because understanding the art of the game is something a lot of people don't do. They think, I'll just run into somebody hard as I possibly can, and that's really cool. It's not what the game is about.
Rashad Jennings is put into the If You Only Knew hot seat when we return to this edition of Larry King Now. You won't want to miss this. Stay with us. Back with Rashad Jennings. The book is The If in Life. Looks like a great read. You played with Jacksonville. They're going to play two more games in London, I think. You think they're going to move to London?
They want them to out there. Playing in London was fun. There's some rabid fans of Jacksonville. It was funny playing in London. you get a participation of all teams while you're in the stadium. Like, I saw about 18 different NFL jerseys of different teams while we're playing. And I'm like, man, they just love everyone over here. There's no particular one, but Jacksonville was the most jerseys worn. I don't know if the owner's going to take them there, but it could.
It's the same flight as going to L.A., isn't it, just about?
Yeah.
If you're in New York.
Yes, but if you come in from the West Coast, though, boy,
yeah,
good luck.
We play a little game of If You Only Knew.
Oh, boy.
What was your funniest fan encounter?
Oakland Raiders. This guy gave me, when I was playing with Jacksonville, he gave me the worst middle fingers I ever seen in my life when I scored a touchdown. When I signed with Jacksonville, I saw that same fan. He was like, hey, I'm never flicking you off because you're with us now. So that dude he scares me.
Oakland Raider fans are the wildest, right?
Definitely.
They're moving to Vegas, but there's no fans like the Raider fans. Boy, they're wild. Where would we find you on a day off?
You'll find me still in the gym, working out. I'm attracted to the gym, so you'll still find me there. You'll find me in the community, and you'll probably find me learning some type of new craft.
Biggest risk you ever took?
Skydiving.
What?
I went skydiving.
You did?
Yes, I went skydiving.
My son did that. Ooh.
You ever been?
No, are you crazy?
Let's go after this.
Yeah, good luck. What's the hardest hit you ever took?
Oh, by a guy named Clint Session. And notice how I didn't have to think about it too long. This dude had something special about him, Clint Session.
Who's the hardest hitter you played against?
Again, Clint Session, this guy.
Is there an NFL game you'll never forget?
When I got hit by Clint Session. Nah, seriously, the game I'll never forget, when I set a PR, I rushed for 180 yards, all-time high. I never forget that, and I never forget the game that my dad showed up to when we played against the Saints when I was a Giant.
Favorite stadium to play in?
Away, I love playing an away game, Kansas City, because their fans are so loud. It just that atmosphere and that all red everywhere is intimidating. I love it.
I've heard a lot of professional athletes say they like playing on the road. They like quieting a crowd.
Yeah, it's amazing. When you score, it's just like...
Who's the funniest teammate you ever had?
I would have to say between DRC and Prince Amukamara, them two clowns. I'm telling you, they need reality shows.
Most exciting player in the NFL today?
Oh, Odell Beckham Jr., definitely. Hands down. Everybody, whether you're watching him to boo or cheer, you watching him for an opinion.
He's some player.
Yes, he is.
Who's the most knowledgeable football guy you know?
You know, somebody I always looked up to earlier in my career was Montel Owens, a guy named Montel Owens.
Best thing about the game of football?
So many things. One, you get to hit, especially growing up, you get to hit somebody without getting in trouble. But the doors, the opportunities that the NFL garnish beyond what a degree would allow, that's the best thing about the league.
Who did you become closest to on Dancing with the Stars?
Emma Slater. That became my best friend.
Toughest crowd to play against?
Toughest crowd to play against? Again, going back to probably Kansas City.
Best piece of advice you ever got?
Don't ever let anybody define you.
Worst piece of advice?
Spend your money because you can't take it with you.
Biggest regret?
I don't have any.
Good. Person you'd switch places with for a day?
For one day, just one day?
One day.
President.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?
Team that makes the most points in that game.
Oh, Rashad, you're a cutie. Rashad Jennings in 10 years.
A well-rounded father, husband, and entrepreneur.
After the break, Rashad Jennings will be answering your questions from social media. The book is The If in Life. Don't click away. We're back with Rashad Jennings. The book is The If in Life, and we have some social media questions. Pac Shepard on Twitter. On top of being handsome, you have a very attractive sense of style. How do you go about picking out clothes and outfits?
I like something that's a little bit, first of all, thank you. spunky and kind of quirky. I have to have something on, whether it's my shoes, whether it's a sock, whether it's a shirt. Something has to say, okay, that guy, he got his own sense. So this is the shirt today. Anybody notice?
I like that shirt. At CITNMA Honey 86 on Twitter, in your opinion, what is something that many people take seriously but shouldn't?
Themselves. I think you got to be able to laugh at yourself. Seriously, if you can't laugh at yourself, I can't be around you too long.
At Dimitri_Hawks on Twitter, how did you enjoy your time with the Raiders?
The Raiders. I loved it. I really did. The atmosphere, the culture, the history of the game.
And they're going to Las Vegas.
Yeah, then they're going to Las Vegas. I tell you what, there's going to be some, yeah.
How about that hockey team in Vegas? That hockey team's incredible.
Yeah, they really are.
Ken Mack on Facebook, what was your biggest strength as a football player and your biggest weakness?
Biggest strength is definitely work ethic and being versatile. I was able to block punts, protect the quarterback, run the ball, catch the ball, did it all. Play special teams, that was my gift there. But weakness, being human, injuries.
J-Man on the Larry King Now block. What was Eli Manning like as a quarterback and a teammate?
One of the greatest teammates I ever had. I lockered beside him every day for 3 years. So I got to know him really well, sometimes a little bit too well. But he was a great leader, first in, last out kind of guy. Hilarious dude.
Really?
Oh, yeah. If you ever watched the show The Office, he could, without acting, he could just fit right in the show. That's his type of humor. An amazing guy.
His brother's funny, too.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
So they decided not to go for a quarterback and drafted the running back. So
Yeah.
they think Eli can play more.
I agree with that pick. I think he can.
At HiHello1218 on Twitter, was it difficult to adjust to the Liberty University Code of Conduct?
No, it wasn't at all.
Why? What is it, strict?
Yeah, most people will say it's really strict. It's not what you would think. It's not that crazy. But for me, I was there to try to get my work done. So I fit right in the system anyway.
Well, it's very...
I think what they could be coming from is it's a dry campus.
It's religious.
Yes, it's a religious school. But it's not, and when you start talking about religion, you open up a whole can of worms, and people think that you can't do this, you can't do this. People judge you. It's not what you would think.
What are your goals going forward?
Goals going forward. Well, it's an interesting word. I use checkpoints instead of the word goals, and since I've been retired, focusing on writing books, focus on getting to TV, acting, commentating.
You want to do that?
Yes, and really enjoying myself. Now I get to explore all the things I've always wanted to do, but I've been restricting because of the game. And because of the game, I've developed so many habits of teamwork and determination and work ethic. Now I get to apply all of those attributes I've developed naturally to other things in life. So I get to explore.
Have they changed a lot, your goals or your career outlook?
No, they really haven't, and that's one thing that's fun. Always going back home, catching up with my high school friends, and say, Rashad, you ain't changed one bit. You still this big old goofball that loves life and wants to learn and explore everything that he possibly can. I haven't changed. I never will change, and like you said, what I'm gonna be doing 10 years from now. I hope I get a chance to do another interview and we'll be talking about all the crazy stuff.
I'm hoping I'm here for it.
Oh, you will.
Thank you. A big thanks to my guest, Rashad Jennings. Be sure to pick up a copy of his new book, The If in Life, How to Get Off Life's Sidelines and Become Your Best Self. As always, you can find me on Twitter at King's Things. See you next time.